Claude plus SpaceX just made an insane deal, and it changes everything. Wait, did SpaceX really just team up with the makers of Claude? Why is nobody talking about what this actually means for you? What if the AI tool you use every single day is about to get way faster and basically unlimited? And what's this wild rumor about AI data centers in space? Because yeah, that's actually being discussed. Hey, I'm the digital avatar of Julian Goldie, and I help people learn and actually use AI tools in their work. Not the boring theory stuff, the real practical workflows that save you hours every week. And today we're talking about something huge. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, just signed a massive deal with SpaceX. Yes, that's SpaceX, Elon Musk's rocket company, and the impact on Claude users is already happening right now. I'm going to walk you through exactly what this deal is, what it means for your daily workflow, and the part nobody's covering, which is the orbital AI compute idea. Stick around because near the end, I'll share 3 tips on how to actually take advantage of these new limits before everyone else figures it out. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about Claude really quick because some of you might be new here. Claude is an AI assistant built by a company called Anthropic. It can write, code, analyze documents, build entire apps, summarize huge files, and basically act like a super smart assistant that lives in your browser. And Claude has been on a serious run lately. The newest version handles long documents better, writes cleaner code, and actually follows instructions instead of going off the rails. Demand has gone up so much that Anthropic actually said it's been straining their infrastructure, which is part of why this whole SpaceX deal is happening. I'll explain in a sec. Now, Claude comes in different plans. There's the free version, there's Claude Pro for regular users, there's Claude Max for people who use it heavily, and there's Claude Code, which is the version for developers that runs in your terminal and helps you write, edit, and ship code way faster. If you've been using Claude Code or the API, you've probably hit those annoying usage limits at the worst possible time. You're in the middle of building something, and boom, you're locked out for a few hours. Super frustrating. And that brings us to the big news. Anthropic just announced a partnership with SpaceX that's going to massively boost Claude's capacity. So what's actually in the deal? Anthropic is taking over the entire computing capacity at SpaceX's Colossus One data center. This is a huge facility in Memphis, Tennessee. We're talking more than 300 megawatts of computing power. And inside that facility are over 220,000 NVIDIA GPUs. Let me put that in perspective for you. A GPU is basically the engine that runs AI. The more GPUs you have, the more people you can serve, and the faster the AI responds. 220,000 GPUs is one of the biggest AI compute clusters on the planet, and Anthropic just got access to all of it within a month. And here's the part that actually matters for you. Because of this deal, Claude's usage limits are going way up starting right now. 3 big changes are happening today. First, Claude Code's 5-hour rate limits are getting doubled. That's for Pro, Max, Team, and Enterprise plans. So if you've been hitting the wall while coding, you now have twice the room to work. Second, the peak hours limit reduction on Claude Code is gone for Pro and Max accounts. That means you don't get throttled anymore during the busy times of day, which, let's be real, was the most annoying thing ever. You'd be deep in a project at like 2 p.m. and suddenly Claude slows down. That's over. Third, the API rate limits for Claude Opus models, which is the most powerful Claude model, are going up significantly. So developers building real products on top of Claude can now do way more without getting blocked. This is huge if you actually use Claude every day for real work. Okay, but who is SpaceX and why are they even in this story? If you live under a rock, SpaceX is Elon Musk's space company. They build rockets, they launch satellites. They're the company behind Starlink, which beams internet from space. Yeah, that one. But here's where it gets interesting. SpaceX, through its connection with XI, also runs huge data centers. Colossus One was built incredibly fast. It runs on NVIDIA's top-tier chips, H100s, H200s, and the newer GB200 accelerators. This stuff is the absolute frontier of AI hardware. And now Anthropic is renting the entire thing. Now here's the wild part nobody's really talking about yet. As part of this deal, Anthropic also said they're interested in working with SpaceX to develop, get this, orbital AI compute capacity. Translation, data centers in space. Yeah, AI servers floating around the planet. Why would anyone want that? Simple. AI uses an insane amount of power and creates a ton of heat. On Earth, you're constrained by land, electricity, and how you cool everything down. Up in orbit, you've got unlimited solar power and the cold of space to cool your servers naturally. Is it actually going to happen? Honestly, we don't know yet. They've only said they're interested. But the fact that 2 companies this big are even discussing it tells you something about where AI is headed. Okay, quick pause. When I first started using Claude, I was overwhelmed. There were so many features, so many use cases, and I had no idea which ones were actually worth my time. That's when I created this community called AI Profit Boardroom. It's over 2,000 members, all focused on learning AI together and sharing what actually works. It taught me which workflows save time versus which ones waste it. The community shares real use cases and practical implementations. If you're serious about using AI to improve your work and skills, check it out. Link in description. All right, back to the deal. So why does this matter for you? If you're on Claude Pro or Max, you're going to notice Claude feels faster and more reliable. Less waiting, fewer slowdowns during peak hours. If you're using Claude Code, you basically just got a free upgrade. Your daily working time with the tool effectively doubled. You can run longer coding sessions, build bigger projects, and stop worrying about whether you'll hit the limit before lunch. If you're a developer building on the Claude API, the higher Opus rate limits mean you can scale your apps without constantly bumping into ceilings. You can build more demanding agents, serve more users, and do things that just weren't practical before. And here's the bigger picture. The SpaceX deal isn't a one-off. Anthropic has been stacking compute partnerships like crazy. They have a deal with Amazon for up to 5 gigawatts of capacity. Another 5 gigawatt deal with Google and Broadcom coming online in 2027, a strategic partnership with Microsoft and Nvidia that includes 30 billion in Azure capacity, and a 50 billion investment in American AI infrastructure with a company called FluidStack. That's basically every major player in the industry locked in, which tells you Anthropic is preparing to scale Claude to a level we haven't seen yet. For us as users, that just means Claude is only going to get better and more available over time. Now, here are 3 quick tips on how to actually take advantage of these new limits before everyone else catches on. Tip number 1, if you've been on the free version of Claude, this is honestly a great moment to try Claude Pro or Max. The peak hour throttling is gone. The limits are higher. You'll get a much smoother experience for serious work. Test drive it for a week and see if it changes how you work. Tip number 2, if you do any coding at all, even basic scripting or automation, give Claude Code a real shot now. With the doubled rate limits, you can run actual full coding sessions without hitting walls. Use it for fixing bugs, writing tests, refactoring messy code, or building little tools that automate boring tasks in your day. Tip number 3, start treating Claude as your daily driver, not just a tool you open for one-off questions. Build a workflow around it. Use it to summarize your meeting notes. Have it draft your emails. Let it analyze documents you don't have time to read. The capacity is there now.